Welcome to Charting Cryptos and Commodities. A number of things to cover with you today. We will jump into our cryptocurrencies and start with the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. Where are we on the weekly, which is we're looking at the big picture here? Well, we're still struggling around the bottom as we look at where 24-hour Bitcoin is. And again, we're using Bitstamp for this one. Below the 200 EMA, of course, we've seen Bitcoin try to, track up a few times, track up a couple of times, and again, not making much headway. Why? Well, lots of bad stuff between FTX and other struggling crypto exchanges and people just not trusting the marketplace at all. Without any regulation. Not that regulation is going to solve all the problems, but things are going to have to happen. We're going to have market capitulation. I've done an entire show on that for you, and we'll just wait, watch, and see. When these things turn around, when Bitcoin really starts to move up, clears this 200 EMA, goes long on the weekly, then we'll be talking about jumping into it hard and practice trading it. We had some success before this latest crash, actually at times even, when things started moving around, but we've not done anything for quite a while because you see a lot of red bleeding there on the screen, and we're not going to catch a falling knife. Doesn't make any sense to hold on to a commodity that goes from $69,000, whatever it was, back when it reached its high to, let's see here, it was something like 69,000 down to, the $15,000 range. Nothing is good enough to hold on for that. So that's one reason we practice trade back and forth, is so you can learn how this works. Let's look at a couple more things before we leave the cryptocurrencies. Here's Ethereum. It looks strikingly similar to Bitcoin, doesn't it? It's because Bitcoin is the big mover. When Bitcoin takes off again, you'll see the rest of this crypto market recovering. When we look at BITW, this shows you the top 10 cryptocurrencies by weight, that is market share. And again, you don't see any green there in the last few weeks as the whole market has trashed down. Now, might you find some things in some of these other less traded crypto coins that I guess you'd have to put your money into a crypto exchange somewhere and hope that you might be able to do something? Yeah, it's what I call gambling. Not interested in that. I'm interested in being able to have charts that work, that I can follow. And when things turn around and move, we'll be ready to go. And of course, what do I think is the best thing to be looking at it when it comes to commodities? Something like BITW. And I'm looking for where that is here. I don't have it in this base. Let me go to my standard CW daily. And of course, XBTF is one of the three approved by American markets, by the SEC, 3 approved Bitcoin futures ETFs. And again, they're closed month, short-term futures, and they trade similar to Bitcoin, not exactly like it because it is a future, but again, it's traded like a stock on the open market. So if you're going to practice anything, think about practicing that one. And again, we'll wait, watch, and see as things turn around at some point. And until they do, we'll just keep looking at it. We're not going to be, of course, practice trading something that's still in the dumper. Now, let's move on from cryptocurrencies to commodities. And I always try to rank these based upon how they've done over the last day. And this is the big gainer for the day, 3.87%. What is this? Well, this is the U.S. Gas Fund. We can see what's going on with gas. I paid less than $3 a gallon yesterday at just a regular service station, not at a Costco or a Walmart, one of those where you can get some real discount pricing, but just at a regular Amoco or something, a $2.91. It was beautiful. But we can see, again, where things have been tracking down quite strongly, slowing down some in the down movement this week after 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of just hammering down. Maybe it's going to stop here where it has before. We can see where it plumbed down to up here after it made that peak back in early March. And then it hit about the same mark again in September and through the month of September. Popped up during October into November, and then of course at the end of November into December moving down. So we'll see, maybe it's going to bounce about this same area. But again, that's nice to see all that down movement when you thought gas was just going to go up forever. Of course, oil up some for the day. Now that's just overall oil, not just gas, but all the other things that come from oil. You can see, again, that heading down for the last 4 weeks, up some for the day. Then we look at stuff like sugar cane, which again reached its high back in April, trundled down for a while, has started moving up some. So just interesting to keep in mind. Silver. Now we were looking at silver as it started to take off and really rocket up. And again, moving up nicely this week. I mean, we can see where silver bottomed. Made a nice bottom around the 1680 mark or so, and has shot up, and again just keeps on moving. You know, will it move up to its prior high around the $25 mark? Don't know, but it sure is rocketing up quite nicely, up for the day 0.73%. Any of you make any trades in silver, or just waiting for things to again set themselves up for a good entry point? Copper, again, used in a lot of business processes, has come well off its big high, but it has moved above the 200 EMA. We look at corn, a feedstock, still going down. Recently peaked, its most recent peak back in about mid-October, but doesn't match where where corn had gone to back in late April. We look at soybeans, another feedstock, flat for the day, but soybeans are tracking up, aren't they? And we can see where we went from red to green on the STC, not at its high point yet, but again, it is that'd be a ways to get up to about 29.35, but it's at the 27.80 mark. So again, you know, we're watching soybeans move up. Wheat. Again, check this one out. Wheat just trashing down. I mean, hitting that 200 EMA. And again, we've got a winter, supposed to be a cold winter. Interesting. We'll get to the big one, and that's going to be natural gas in just a minute. Look at gold. Again, we're in a long gold trade right now, hoping that's going to work for us. If gold's just going to keep booming up, it'd be lovely to see gold get to the highs it got to back in late March. Now, coffee. Coffee below that 200 EMA. That's nice to see because I drink a lot of coffee throughout my day. So again, when you listen to the news, it is helpful to be able to see what's really going on with food stocks, with commodities, with oil, with copper, things with feed stocks like corn and soybeans. See what's going on with wheat. Know what's really happening in the world with precious metals, gold and silver, how they're a booming right now. But check this last one out. This to me is fascinating. I mean, we keep hearing about, natural gas in Europe and shortages and people being cold. Well, natural gas down for the day 8.46% below the 200 EMA. Gas peaked on a bunch of fears back in late August, but now we're in the cold weather and it's below the 200 EMA. Is that not fascinating? I mean, it's lower than it was in the summertime, or right about where it hit its lows in the summertime. Is that not fascinating? Just something for you to pay attention to. Now, again, you can trade these commodities. You can go long on these things. You can look for those that have liquid options to be able to mess around with too if you've taken our options training. Of course, that's available first thing all our Patreon members get. But of course, you can practice trade those, or you can just go long when things go up. I would encourage you to backtrack, to use all of the tools we have and that we share with you to practice trade those. Commodities can be a bear, but of course, when you jump into them at the right time and ride them in the right direction, you can see they can be quite beautiful. So I encourage you, you can look at sector funds, you can look at commodities, you can look at cryptocurrencies when they're going in the right direction. You can look at ETFs that track entire countries. There's lots of those. So again, the world is your oyster. Practice trade to show yourself approved. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters. Thanks for joining us.